A very good morning to all my dear students. Hope you all are doing good and taking very good care of yourself. Welcome to Social Studies, Chapter 3, Tanks and Groundwater, Session 1. Today we are going to learn about tanks, Cheruvulu. How were the tanks built? How did the tanks help? And decline of tanks in our times. Let's start. Tanks, Cheruvulu. For thousands of years, our ancestors have tried to utilize runoff rainwater by building tanks. We have evidence of tanks being built and used for agriculture from the times of the megaliths. You will also read about the Kakatiya kings who built a large number of tanks in Telangana. This enabled the extension of agriculture into dry regions. To this day, most of the villages in these regions have at least one or two major tanks. Yes, tanks, Cheruvulu has been built by the time of at the time of megaliths also. Megaliths means when the early man is using stone tools. So to protect the run of rainwater or to store the run of rainwater, most of the kings they have construct or they built a tank. Here we are having in our next chapter about the Kakatiyas, how they have constructed the large number of tanks in Telangana to provide the water for this dry region for drinking purpose as well as for agriculture. So when we are observing all the area of Telangana, most of these tanks were built by the kings, by the head of the village. So in this way, every village is having one or two major tanks which providing water for drinking as well as for irrigation purpose to that particular village. How were the tanks built? The tanks were usually built by building a strong wall of stones and mud across a small stream in such a way that with a wall on just one side, a large lake could be formed. So here the tanks can be built when they are having a low-lying area at a particular side or only on one side they have to construct a strong wall of stones to stop the water to flow further. So whatever the inlet they are getting or inflow of water they are getting in this low-lying area, it formed a large lake or a tank. Tanks were sometimes built by a king, sometimes by a military leader or Nayaka, or often by the people of the village themselves. Usually, every village preserved the memory of those who were responsible for building the tank through stories or temples or festivals. In building the tank, everyone in the village contributed towards the expenses and labor. All the people of the village maintained the tank together by repairing the tank bund, wall, or removing silt from the tank bed. They also ensured that no one stopped the water from flowing into the tank. They also appointed a person to regulate the use of the water from the tank. And this particular person is called Nirati or Nirukatte Manisi. Tanks were mostly built by the king, by the military leader or Nayaka. Nayaka means head. Even sometimes by the people of village, all of them all together. And they have, as they are constructed by a king or a Nayaka, they are having certain story or they are making any temple or they are celebrating a festival particular to remark that particular person has had constructed or built the tank. And here everyone in a village they are working as well as labor means they are working for the construction of this tank as well as whatever the expenses are there, all of them they are getting distributed equally. And they have to maintain the wall, a strong wall of a stone, as well as they keep on removing the silt from it. In this way they can, when they are removing the silt, it means they are try to acquire more water in it. as well as to check or to have a watch on all these activities. They are appointing one person. That person is called as Nirati or Nirukatte Manisi.